You think horror movies are scary? Try living one. My name's Jasmine Carter. I was just a normal college student at Ohio State University, focused on exams and books, when one night, one decision, nearly turned me into a headline. This isn't a ghost story. This is about something far darker. Someone far darker. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you is real, and it still makes my blood run cold. I was 20, a biology major buried in textbooks, preparing for my final exam. My roommate, Emily Parker, a total party girl, was the complete opposite of me. That night she burst into our dorm room, drunk and giggling, her excitement filling the space like a cloud. I rolled my eyes, trying to focus on the cell structures in front of me, but my concentration slipped like water through my fingers. She leaned against my desk, her breath smelling faintly of alcohol. "Come on, Jasmine," she slurred. "Every time I see you, you're reading. Live a little." I shot back without looking up. "And every time I see you, you smell like alcohol and regret." She pouted dramatically. "Okay, fine. How about this? I'll stay quiet all week if you come to a party tomorrow at 8:00. It was a tempting deal, a whole week of peace and quiet. I hesitated, then nodded slowly. She squealed and left me to my notes. At that moment, I had no idea that this small decision would almost cost me my life. Saturday night arrived, and I actually felt a flicker of excitement. I hadn't dressed up in ages, and my reflection in the mirror looked almost like a stranger. Hair done, a touch of makeup. The party was at an old warehouse basement in Columbus, packed with students. The place throbbed with pulsing music and neon lights. People were dancing, drinking, making out in dark corners. The air smelled of sweat, beer, and perfume. I wasn't much of a drinker, but that night I had a few. Not enough to be drunk, but enough to feel the edges of the world tilt slightly. That's when he appeared. Luke Donovan. Red hair, blue eyes, about 6 feet tall, clean shirt. He stood out from the chaos around him. He didn't seem drunk. He smiled. And something about him seemed normal, maybe even charming. We talked for half an hour about books, studying, the kind of topics nobody at that party wanted to talk about. He laughed at my jokes. I laughed at his. When he offered to get us both drinks, I said yes. Why not? I was having fun. He came back, handed me a drink, and we talked some more. I remember the warmth of the alcohol spreading through me, the music blurring into the background. One thing led to another, and before I knew it, we were making out in a shadowy corner. It was quick, dizzying, surreal. Then he leaned close to my ear. "Want to come back to my place?" he asked. Something in my gut told me no. I needed to be on campus in the morning anyway. "I can't," I said firmly. "Come on," he whispered. "I promise it'll be fun." He kept pushing, his smile tightening, his blue eyes losing their warmth. I shook my head again. Finally, he rolled his eyes, pulled a paper from his pocket, scribbled a number, and handed it to me. "Fine, if you change your mind, give me a call." He leaned in, whispered something I couldn't quite hear, and walked away. The rest of the night was a blur. The next morning, I woke up in my dorm room. Emily was snoring on her bed, makeup smudged. I got up to shower, and a piece of paper slipped from my pocket. Luke's number. I stared at it for a second, but my exam was more important. I shoved it aside and went to study. That's when things started to get weird. As I read, a wave of dizziness hit me like a hammer. The room spun, and then blackness. I woke up in a hospital bed at Ohio Health Riverside Hospital. Bright lights stabbing my eyes. Police officers and nurses were talking nearby, their words blurring together. One of the nurses leaned in and explained. I'd had a severe allergic reaction to something rare, something dangerous. It wasn't food poisoning. It wasn't alcohol. It was a reaction caused by contact with bodily fluids containing bacteria found in decaying or rotting flesh. I froze. My heart stopped. What? I hadn't eaten anything strange. I hadn't been near anything dead. And then it hit me. Luke, the party, the kiss. I told the police everything. His name, his description, the number he gave me. They took it seriously. Weeks passed. My allergic reaction faded. I tried to move on, study, take my test. Then my phone rang. It was the police. They'd found Luke, and what they found inside his apartment made my blood run cold. 2 dead, decaying women's bodies. He had been living with them, eating them. The line went quiet as I gripped my phone, trembling. The thought hit me like ice water. I had kissed him. I had let him touch me, and worse. What if I had said yes? What if I had gone to his place? I still have nightmares about that night. The red hair, the blue eyes, the way his smile changed when I said no. Be careful who you trust. Be careful who you let close. Because sometimes, the real monsters aren't in ghost stories. They're standing right next to you at a party. Have you ever had a moment where your gut told you no, and you were glad you listened?
Don't forget to subscribe because there are more stories like this, waiting to be told.